Welcome back to another week of college football. Week 2. We saw some huge upsets last week, a lot of things panning out. It's such an exciting time for college football and the NFL, which tips off this week, or I should say kicks off this week in basketball mode. But we've got a great special at Wager Talk. You get 3 weeks of the NFL and 3 weeks of college football for $49 a week. That's right, $147. Head to my homepage, click the special, no coupon needed, and get the next 3 weeks of football, both college football and the NFL, for $147. Now I'm breaking down this game, which is being played on Thursday. Because it is an FBS versus FCS games, we don't have lines at this time. But I just want to break down how I handicap a game. And when you take your handicapping to the next level, this is actually what you should be doing for every game. Well, let's take a look at this Louisville squad first. We know Louisville, 8-5 last year. They returned 13 starters. They, of course, have the Brom trio. Jeff Brom, the head coach. You have an OC. You have a director of operations, all Brom's brothers that went to Louisville. 6 returning starters on offense, 7 returning starters on defense. And while that number is a fairly good number, take a look at Louisville, what they have had. They had 16 starters in 2019, 16 starters in 2020, 13 starters in 2021, and 14 starters this year. So it's actually down a notch. Against Georgia Tech, we saw them get off to a very slow first half start. We, of course, have the quarterback Plummer, who was with Brom when he was in Purdue. He then transferred to Cal last year, started last year, came in this year. He's been a little inconsistent in camp, and it showed the first half. As far as Murray State goes, Murray State, of course, little brother as far as this matchup goes, going against big brother Louisville. They were an Ohio Valley Conference team, and they moved to the Missouri Valley Conference, the toughest college football conference in the FCS. And when you look at how many national champions have come out of the Missouri Valley, I think that conference is actually better than the MAC and likely better than CUSA from top to bottom. So some real competition. This team went 2-9 last year. Now, while they returned 17 starters, they're taking a big step up in class. Last week, they played Presbyterian. They were a sizable favorite. They won and covered that game. They had a 484 to 196 yard edge. In the Missouri Valley Conference, Murray State has 3 players that are all conference worthy. All 3 on the offensive side of the ball. DJ Jones, Jacob Fry, and Taylor Shields. So when you look at the racers, the offense, much better than the defense. That defense last year allowed over 700 yards per game. I think Louisville, with their big running game, will be able to establish the run early. Now, when I make this number Louisville minus 31 with a total of 61. So when I break down 61 and look at team totals, take Louisville's line minus 31, that leaves 30. So 31 plus 15 would be Louisville's team total, about 46. 15 would be the team total of Murray State. So when we see a line open, if Louisville is laying 28 or less, I lean with Louisville. If Murray State is getting 34 or more, I lean with Murray State. If I have a team total of Louisville of 43 or less, I'll be on the Louisville over. If I have a team total or an overall total of 58 or less, I'll be leaning the over in this game. So I love handicapping games without knowing the lines. We look at the offensive lines. We look at the defensive lines. We look at the cornerbacks versus the wide receivers. We look at how teams prep and what they have in deck. Again, Louisville has a bigger game against Indianapolis in a neutral setting on deck, so I don't expect them to look to blow them out. But we established a line of Louisville minus 31, a total of 61. We'll see where this line opens, And then you guys know where my opinion lies. A bunch of great week 2 videos from the entire staff at Wager Talk. Make sure you check them out. And thanks for being with me for this Thursday night FBS FCS breakdown.